music videos such as Don't Stop Me Now that are majority performance, do you feel that that is how most people see the pop rock genre music videos?
Well, a lot of those traditional bands sort of started out in the 70s, and back in those days, if you wanted people to hear your records and then go out and buy it, you either had to rely on radio play or an old BBC show called Top of the Pops, which was huge at the time. And so bands would go on Top of the Pops and perform their song and hopefully get people then to go out and buy the record. The trouble is if you were on tour in Europe or America or whatever, you couldn't physically get to the Top of the Pops studios. So how did you get people to see your song? So from about the mid-70s onwards, bands started to make videos that could be played on Top of the Pops instead of the band actually being there. And because that was the only outlet for the video, there wasn't MTV or there wasn't YouTube or anything like that, they couldn't justify spending a lot of money on it. So a band on tour might then just quickly film a performance of their song on the stage with all their lights before they did a concert, and that's what happened with Don't Stop Me Now. So at the time, Queen were on tour across Europe and they needed to make this video, so they set the stage up for a performance, got all the lights going, and then a couple of hours before the show they literally went on stage and performed the song, or mimed along to it actually, so that it fitted the studio recording. And that was filmed, and then the band would carry on tour. Someone would go back to London, edit that footage together to make it into a video and be sent to Top of the Pops. And I think when you look at bands like Queen, they were very much driven as a live act. That's where they were at their best. So for them to be able to get their music across in a live environment, on a stage with all their lights, etc., was the best way for them to showcase their music. So them, and along with other bands of that kind of genre, that is where they were at their strongest. So they would follow that mould. And so you're sat at home watching Top of the Pops, and then you see your favourite band performing. Not only do you want to go and buy the record, but you then want to go and see the concert, which is what it's all about.
So do you feel that those sort of music videos are better for the rock groups or pop groups?
Well, rock and roll music thrives on the live experience, on the shared experience of you being in a crowd with thousands of people, watching a band that you love and listening to them perform. It's all about real musicians. In the 80s it was all about pop, so it was about synthesizers and computer sort of clever trickery, whereas rock and roll, its roots are in a group of people with real instruments performing. So that's what's at the heart of that music. So that's what they're trying to get across. They're saying, look, it's us musicians making great music that can be really enjoyed if you come along and watch it performed. So that type of genre of music really lends itself to that live performance type of video. And I think any band that wants to showcase that it is about real musicians with real instruments, writing their own songs, performing them, and that listening to their music is great, but going and seeing it performed is even better, then I think showing that in a video is much better than creating some kind of artificial environment and everyone dressing up in silly costumes and telling some kind of story, or not having the band in it at all, which a lot of videos tend to do.
So, Sam, how do you feel that the music video of Doubt It is different from others of the rock, pop sort of cult genre?
Well, I feel as though the music video does include a narrative within, just diverting from the attention of the band, where a lot of rock bands would just look solely at the band. We also do get the essence of a certain story being played out alongside the actual band themselves, which is quite interesting and something you don't often see within the genre.